Oh yes! Hello my friends. Welcome to the stream. Hello, hello, hello. Preparing for launch, exactly. That's what we're doing here. Hello Cody. Hello everybody. Notification gang coming soon. Arriving slowly but surely. Hello everybody. Alright, if it's your first time here, welcome to the stream. This is going to be your #1 place for inspiration. Today we're gonna make a kind of an unusual drawing technique. It's not that uncommon, it's pretty well known, but I don't do it a lot, but it's very fun. Instead of using white paper and drawing with black pencil, we're gonna invert everything and paint on black paper. Look at this, it's so dark, you can barely see it. It's there, it's actually paper. This is my drawing surface. Ooh, look at this. It's gonna be a beauty. And our drawing tool of choice will be this nice little white pencil right here. It's gonna be fun. If you haven't never tried this method, really, it's an awesome technique. Really recommend it. It's super fun and not that difficult. Like, creates amazing effects pretty pretty easily. You can create this kind of a somehow negative effect, kind of Jono dry with less, less trouble. You don't have to darken everything. Maybe Jono Dry has a black paper. I don't remember, but like he has this very dark. Like he actually draws everything in, mostly with his black pencil, black charcoal and all. Right here you can have like a cheap version of what he does. Like basically the entire background is covered in black, and just add the white, but it really gives it a different feeling. Let's just say that it gets something very dark, very intense, but very dramatic. It's great when you have like very strong chiaroscuro, when you have something super like dramatic lighting. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. That's what I'm gonna be doing today, and this was suggested by our man here, Cody. He suggested it from the Discord, like back in the days. Can I show off my starfish? He actually, I don't know, Cody had this, apparently did this starfish back in the days. I'm gonna try to find it again. Where is the starfish? I can find it again, but if you can post it somewhere, Cody, I'll gladly show it. Maybe post it in live stream. No, oh, okay, it's there. Oh, look at this. Awesome. So here it is. The black paper done by Cody. So he suggested that we do a stream like that. The starfish, the white pencil really makes it easy to create nice texture. I find it very good for texture. That's pretty cool. Like, it's nice. It's always looking very cool. So that's what this is a nice screenshot from last time. And that's it. Another news, art news. There is actually a new painting, a new very important painting in the world of art. Let's cut off the music for a moment. And let's do with the different music for this one. Actually, no, I want royalty music, because I've got a big news. There's a big. This is, oh, that's hype music. There's actually the first official painting of King Charles is finally there. You tell me your opinion. Tell me what you think about it. It was painted by Jonathan Yeo I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. You tell me what you think of it. Like, okay, I'm kind of in between here. I don't know what you think. Hold on, why is this music so... okay. Okay, let's cut it. It's kind of annoying. So, tell me what you think. Very non-traditional. And yet traditional in a way. But, oh, by the way, it's gigantic. So, this was an old one. This was very, very traditional. Like super traditional. It was painted in 2018. So it was still prints. Look at, this is this size. So, very big. The first thing is, I always find it very awkward and I'm sorry, but meaningless to paint gigantic portraits. Like as soon as the portrait appears bigger than life, I find it completely unnecessary. It's too big. I like portraits to be intimate and to feel like an actual presence. So I like the portrait to feel like I'm looking through a window. So basically the frame of the canvas is a window and I'm looking at a person on the other side, right? That's what I like from a portrait. And I like to feel that I'm in the presence of an actual being that's actually existing. But when I have something gigantic, I feel oppressed by the presence of whatever it's painted, even though there's, you know, a lot of, you know, texture, I guess. I can't zoom in much more than that. So yeah, sure, there is a lot of texture and it's interesting because, you know, there's a lot of brush strokes. But I'm puzzled by the size. The size is one of, well, I guess for a king, okay, you can paint a king, giant portrait of a king. I'm gonna accept that, right? Giant palace, giant, you know, empire, giant king, whatever. Okay, giant painting. However, in this case, it's not huge. So it's big, very big, but it's not awkwardly huge. Sometimes they have like the face is like as big as like this, and it's just I find it awkward. Like gigantic portraits, I find them awkward. The next thing I find awkward is not the likeness. No, I have nothing against that. Although some things can be said about the likeness in this case, but what I'm kind of torn with this background choice, and I'm talking purely aesthetic choices. You tell me what you think. I don't find that this is a royalty red. I find that it's kind of flesh color red. It feels like dermatite red, kind of, and I'm sorry, maybe it's just because I know, but I can't stop thinking about his cancer when I look at this, and it feels oppressive, and it feels like some type of Dark Souls kind of weird background. I don't know. I don't find it pleasing, but maybe it's just me. You tell me. Not that keen on the style or the sitter. It needs touches of violet. Yeah, there needs to be something to break the monotony. I agree. Like cyan would work well. Anything like a touch of green, maybe. Like, where's the green? Where are the metals? Why is this all monotone? I find it awkward in a way. looks bloody. Yeah, balsam, I agree. It looks bloody to me too. I don't know, I find it reminiscing of, you know, flesh and the inside of a human body, and I find it strange. I find it distracting, demonic. Red is oppressive. Yeah, red is not the most, you know, soothing hue, that's for sure. But normally red is associated with power and royalty, so it could work in this case, but this is not this type of red, because this is more red magenta, and this breaks the code. You want red orange, like red vermilion, like the, you know, traditional red. Like if you have my color wheel, this is the 0 degree red, like the like typical red. This red is kind of distracting, disturbing to me. I don't know what you think. Looks like his hand and hands are disembodied. Yeah, I never thought about it, but it's kind of awkward. Light green is a must for me. Light green would be like, I don't know, compensate, going up in flames. Yeah, there's something awkward, but hey, I haven't paid for this commission, so, and I'm all respect to Jonathan Yeo, who's really a great artist. This is, I think this is a self-portrait. This is him. This is his work. So lots of portraits, interesting, some less. Lots of, you know, celebrity portraits. I think he's well known for making these, like this one, Paris Hilton one, There's a common kind of experiment background here, kind of a similar theme. Okay. I would have seen a background like that. A background like that would have been less disturbing to me. You know, like not very well defined, so kind of melting the body in the background doesn't disturb me too much, but it disturbs me when the background is this flesh pink. Ooh, I'm not a fan of this. Oh, this is a okay. I was like, what is this thing? But if you notice, this is a collage. I was like, this looks disgusting. How do you paint like that? Okay. Maybe YouTube will flag me for that. I'm sorry. Oh, this one is actually too dark. This one is too dark. I prefer the first one. Alright, so something like that. Oh, this is Damien Hirst. Something like that. Well, you know, I prefer Cyan. Cyan works better as a background, like in general. It's always less awkward. This is more like the pink background. This one is actually really cool. This is just a study, and in this case it makes sense because it's you can feel that it's a study, right? I feel this is, it's still the same kind of vibe, still the same colors, less pink I would say, but this feels like a study, so unfinished work. Great, give it that. This is not unfinished work. This feels way more awkward in my opinion, in the choice of colors, the palette, and also the how much he forced the wrinkles, the details, the texture. It's too fleshy. This is beautiful. All right, maybe you'll say, okay, the model is looking much better. All right, I get it. But I don't know how to express it. This is Nicole Kidman. This looks good, actually. Look at this. Not using flesh color in the background works much better, in my opinion. I don't know. What do you think? It's something that will be thrown away for you, Felicia. The face looks good to me, says Gina. I don't know if this is fine, like, okay. Too much bright red. Maybe the artist is saying he's a killer. Maybe that's a statement of not glorifying the king. I don't know. For kind of a political statement, I don't know. Needs definition in clothing to bring the body together. I agree. I agree because the body is so wrinkled and has kind of the same texture of the background, which is not the case here. So there is texture, like brush texture in the background happening, but the skin is not as wrinkled and pink as the background, and in this case it is. Man, I wish he did more studies like that. Kevin Spicy. This one, I'm not a fan of this one. Again, like this is the same background problem, but this time with black, in my opinion. It doesn't look as good. I don't know, I have problems with backgrounds, maybe. This is beautiful, look, this is very emotional, nicely done, and you have a clear separation of background and the model from Malala. I think it suits the model much better. You don't have to make a statement in the background to say the story of this painting, if you know about the story of this model. And this looks cool, actually. I really like the simplicity. Couple brush strokes. So very talented artist. He went, I think he made too much of a, I don't know, it's not his greatest. Let's just say that. King Charles, not his greatest. If you want, just if you want to read, I'm gonna slowly scroll the article. If you want to pause, read, because it talks about like the history of. Oh yeah, the butterfly. The butterfly is also a reference to King's long-held interest in the environment, because he has championed most of his life, and certainly long before they became a mainstream conversation. I said when school children look in this 200 years and they're looking at the who's who of the monarchs, what clues could you give them? He said, what about a butterfly landing on my shoulder? So that's the idea of the king himself. Okay. Like, as being somebody who uses symbolism a lot, the butterfly is kind of is multi-semantic. It's like polysemantic. I don't know how you say that. Polysemic. I don't know. It has a lot of meanings. It can mean like it can convey a lot of different significance depending, like it's the symbolism of the butterfly. It's just as vague as the symbolism of red. It's like you can say and make a butterfly say anything in terms of symbolism. But the king sat 4 times in all for about an hour at a time. Did the artist notice any obvious change after he became a king? Okay, so this was beefy. King Henry VIII. That was a king who knew how to, you know, how to be swag. This one I really like. This one of the little bit of background, you know, just barely suggested with couple strokes. It has interesting geometry, with the stairs and all. I like it. I find it elegant and all. I find the drapery is missing, you know, missing texture. Like drapery, I like to picture that I could be grabbing it. And this drapery feels very weak to me, but overall I like the composition very much. But this, I mean, fabric, you're painting a queen or a king, you can have so much fun with fabric and texture. Look at this. They knew how to have fun. Holbein knew how to have fun with textures and jewelry and crowns and medals and stuff. But, you know, if you want, well, you can do that. But this is way too boring compared to what you can do with, like, you have so much potential. They have so much fancy, you know, fancy attires that they can just take out of their closets. I'm sure they never use these extremely fancy dresses. So for once you can have them use them and sit and paint them and have fun with like all sorts of funny textures. You know, I'm a fan of textures. But yeah, that's about it for the news of the day. Which one is the worst portrait background? This one or the Obama portrait? Which Obama portrait? Send it in the live stream, Seth. Send the picture in the live stream on the Discord. Because I don't have it in my head right now. Holbein was good. Yeah, he was. And this one is not even his best. But, well, when you actually see the painting in real life, it's insane. Seeing in Holbein in real life, I don't know if you were lucky enough to. Oh, this one, the Obama one. Tell me the name of the artist. Oh yeah. Oh, this is sorry. Oh yeah. Oh, you're right to say which one is the worst. This one or the King Charles? This one, which one? We're looking for the worst possible background. This one or this one? This background is really out of place. It doesn't belong here. The colors don't go together. The colors of the flowers don't go with the green. The color of the chair doesn't go well with the green. The color of the suit doesn't go well with the green. So the green is just a distracting element that's just messing up the structure. It's way too busy. It's distracting. It's uncool. It looks like, you know, the meme with Homer Simpson when he disappears in the edge. It's like, I don't know what went wrong here. The likeness is meh. The leaves are not lit with the same light source. The light source that lights Obama should be the same light source that lights the leaves. There should be a shadow. There's none. Distracting. Weird. Third dimension, like fourth dimension, the leaves. The fourth dimension is the leaves. Weird. Yeah, I find it weird. But I would still, I would say the king. I prefer the king. I would pick the king as the better background. The Obama background is way too distracting and just really out of place. It's very Homer. It's very Homer emerging from the yeah. It's exactly like that. Exactly the meme, the Homer Simpson meme. The Obama one looks like a bad Photoshop job. It's, oh gosh, they can take some. They make some choices because they want to break with traditions. It's like nowadays, you can't even hire an artist to paint a classical portrait, and you can't have them make it look traditional. Just make me a beautiful portrait with my modern setup, my modern, you know, costume and all, but with the traditional timeless techniques. It's like they have to break the codes, they have to be original, they have to invent some new way. Like, you're not breaking grounds when painting a monarch or a president. You're making an official portrait. You're not breaking the codes, you're not reinventing the world. You're not like making a revolution in the world of art by making an official portrait, right? Just keep this in your head. You don't have to be original, just be good. Make good stuff. Make it feel like good stuff from today. You don't have to come up with these crazy ideas. Make something nice. This is completely out of place. This is distracting. Doesn't work. The foot doesn't work right here. Look at this. The dislocated ankle, apparently, for some reason. I don't see it as peaceful but chaotic. Yeah, because they want to be original. And this is the same thing. I'm sorry to be so critical of my peers here, but they always want to be original. They can't make a portrait that's just, you know, simple and elegant anymore. Well, actually, this one was in the 2000s, so they are still capable of that. It's like, yes, it can still be done. It can still be done. The UK has tremendous artists, and definitely Jonathan Yeo is a tremendous artist. When you see something like that, you know that he doesn't need to try to be good. Like, he doesn't need to try to be original to be good. Like, he can be good just out of just talent and being good. Is there an explanation for the red? I haven't read, actually. Yeah, like, exactly. Aim to achieve something more modern, particularly with the deep color and the butterfly. Yeah. It's a vibrant painting. Yes, but it's disturbing, and it feels like the inside of the guts of somebody. And it's very reminiscing, I'm sorry, of the King's Cancer. It's kind of awkward. All right, let's start, because we have some stuff to do today, and we're gonna do together, my friends. We're gonna do black pencil. All right, let me just. How much do you see? It's hard to locate my. It's hard to locate where I'm gonna make. Oops. Okay, let's take this. So if my. Okay, so if I go, top of the head is here. Bottom is here. Okay, so I'm just. It's hard with the camera to find exactly where it is that I'm going to do my my drawing. So I'm trying to locate the elements. Would have looked better if the ladies were overall lighter. don't know. I think, you know, sometimes when I see something that doesn't, oh, sorry. It's hard. My camera has a very hard time focusing at the moment because of the black surface. I'm sorry. Okay. I think sometimes when a painting doesn't work, for me at least, when I have the feeling that a painting doesn't work, is because it doesn't have a good enough sense of space. And when you crush the background like that, normally it just, you know, it annihilates every sense of volume and sense of space. As I said, what makes a painting a beautiful experience is when it feels like you're looking through a window and the subject is on the other side of the window, right? And when you crush the background, when you make something abstract and flat, you're kind of crushing this sense of dimensionality, of like stepping in the space of the subject, and you risk kind of ruining you kind of take the risk of, you know, ruining the feeling of belonging to the space. The goal is that the goal is to make it so that the subject and the viewer are sharing a space for a fraction of time. Like, you want your model and you want to offer to the viewer an experience where they share the space with the subject. Just like with a landscape, you want to offer to your viewers the unique experience of looking at a beautiful landscape. So you want to transport them in a space that's not there, right? And it's the same thing with a portrait, a subject. You want to sort of make your viewer dream that they are meeting the subject and stepping into their space. So right here, drawing with white, it's exactly like drawing with black on white paper, except you have to kind of think in reverse. But you can do things that are very approaching, and what's very cool is you can sort of do mass drawing. You can also blend. You know, you can just slightly increase the likeness, and you just, instead of thinking about shadow shapes first, you think about light shapes. It's just a little bit of adjusting, but the same logic. Kind of make and in a way, it goes even faster because you make the light shape appear. Almost gives you immediate satisfaction in a way. It gives you immediate results. It's pretty cool that you can just...
Whenever you people in chat send me a command, I know exactly what to do. But in a much more real sense, I had no idea what to do.
Hello, Steven. Can you hear Steven? I'm not sure if I... I don't have reference here. I'm not sharing the reference for this one. Stop with the ref. Stop asking. I'm just making a drawing. You don't have to follow along. You can make your own. It's not a ref. It's just a. I'm not using this ref. I'm using it's an example of how to. So here in this case, if you make a white portrait like that, obviously the choice of your white pencil is going to be crucial to the success of your drawing, because not all the white pencils are created equal, and some of them are, some of them you can erase easily, you can blend, you can create cool effects because they hold themselves well. And erasing in this case is very important because sometimes, that's how you create black. It's by erasing. I do have chalk though, but right here I do have some actual chalk. I'll use it more if I need to just lighten in a big area. So this is white pencil, so white chalk on black paper. And we're just messing around, experimenting. Thank you, Mizuki. It's pretty, in a way, it's pretty disturbing because it's really the other way around. Doesn't go in the right direction. It's like completely upside down. Especially like the midtones. This is how you create midtones. It's just light, and for the midtones they don't really change. That's one good thing. It's like you draw the midtones the same way. I'm scared that, like, at what point my white will not be erasable any longer. Like, you know, at some point when you mess up your paper, when you mess up with the surface, you can reach a point where the paper doesn't support erasing anymore. So it makes modifications much harder. In this case, I'm using this little brush to sort of it's pretty cool because when you use imagination, for sure, it's kind of the lights appear and creates shapes out of, you know, out of nowhere. You make the lights appear. Yes, I have tried to draw with my left hand, and it was a disaster. Okay, now it's getting tougher. Yeah, oil pastel is something that I never used. So we need to try first. Okay. It's already turning my brain upside down to think with white instead of thinking with black. It's really messing up with my spidey sense. Well, drawing in pencils, colored pencils, like once you've started experimenting with painting, it starts losing, it stops making sense. Like, I used to have colored pencil as well before when I was a student and I didn't have, you know, the gear or the studio to paint. But as soon as I picked up, sorry, I'm gonna sneeze. As soon as I started painting, colored pencils completely stopped making sense for me. I was like, what's the point really? Because if I can paint, why would I use colored pencil, right? This technique is almost cheating how quickly you can get something that's very evocative with very little, you know, very little actual work, because you have so much of this black, it feels like the shadow's already there. Actually, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create some type of midtone, and then I'm gonna melt it away in the shadow. Because what I want really, I'm not gonna make a full, you know, face. I want to sort of make a sort of a melted portrait. It's kind of a chiaroscuro that sort of recedes in the shadows. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a midtone. It sort of crawls into the shadow space, and then just erase it slightly. But this, I'm telling you, this pencil is so great. Like the texture, no kidding, the texture of this pencil is great on its own. It behaves really well, it blends very well. It's just a pleasure. And the thing is, they also have the same pencil, same brand, same sort of category. In black, it doesn't work the same. It doesn't work as well. So the black version of this one, I find it much less satisfying than the white. highlighter. Thank you. Yeah, it's pretty low texture. It's pretty fine grain, but the white really emphasizes the texture really well. Now with this technique, you also have the option of kind of, I'm not gonna say cheating because it's not cheating really per se, but you do have the option of using black at some point if you want. And so this can be, if you're stuck, you can create a couple details with black. I would suggest just do tiny details here and there. Let's say around the eyes when it's getting too complicated to just erase. But normally just the eraser should be enough. You can pretty much accomplish everything you want with just the eraser.
Warning, emoji wall starts in 10.
Oh my god, emoji
9,
wall starts.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Alright,
2,
get ready everybody.
1, go. Emoji wall unlocked. This is chaos. Seriously, we need to break YouTube with
Alright,
emojis.
let's start. Emoji
We have
wall.
1 minute. Let's go chat. We can do it. Let's go chat. Quick, spam emojis. We need to fill the screen. No time to waste. I'm
That's
serious.
nice
We have to
covering of the
spam emojis
space.
in chat now before the timer runs out. Hurry up. Quick, let's go chat. We have to spam
Wow,
emojis in
that's
chat
nice.
now
That's
before
pretty.
the
It
timer
looks like
runs out.
fireworks.
No time to waste. I'm serious. Hurry up. Quick, let's go chat. Let's go chat. Let's go chat. Let's go chat. Hurry up. It ends in 5, 4,
4,
3,
3,
2,
2,
1.
1.
Stop.
Ah,
Emoji
nice
cooldown.
one. Nice. Still the remnants of this intense emoji wall. Whoa. Trippy. Thanks everyone.
My job is to be the default voice for Microsoft Windows. It's not the best job in the world, but it's not the worst. Can't complain. We have a vending machine that sells Fruit Loops in the break room.
Can't see my popcorn emojis? What if you added it after the end of the cooldown? It might not have been registered. Yeah, Eclipse again. Sorry. Okay, I was trying to blend it out a bit, just so that now I can rework the midtones with the eraser. It's basically basically when you blend like that, you have like kind of a mid-tone base, and you can just continue working on the highlights. So you push with white to bring highlights, and you can just even draw some dark lines with the eraser like that. Her left iris is not perfectly round. Yeah, I'll work it slowly. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just bring more light first. So, you know, just doing it like that. So bringing some white pigments, then softening, blending a bit, and then working out with the eraser. Well, that's the cool thing about this technique is it doesn't take long. It doesn't really take long to look really cool, because you have like half of your work is already done through, you know, the midtones and all. Like right here, what I'm doing, so I'm kind of cross-hatching, then I'm going to be blending, and then I'm going to use this blended portion to redefine the shadows and midtones. It's the thing though, it's one of the big problems of this is like you kind of get impatient because it really gives you kind of a rush. Almost feels like you can accomplish so much so quickly. But you have to be careful. Still far from finished, so you want to avoid getting too hyped too quickly. Yeah, it's also a good technique. It's a technique that I've done pretty often as well. It's cover the entire white paper with charcoal dust, then erase. It's pretty much the same in the idea, but the execution is very different. The execution is very different in this case. I think the best that this technique right here teaches you is the importance of using your eraser not as just something to make corrections with, but something to actually draw with. That's crucial. Yeah, this pencil, this white Conte is what I swear for. If you're looking for this, I think they changed the appearance of the pencil since I bought it. Last time I looked, they didn't look the same on the website. I don't know. Yes, I am French. I am French. Does it sound like it? I don't know. What's French about me? I don't know. I wonder really why people always ask me why I'm French.
Command, zooming in for 10 seconds.
Bonjour mon ami.
Zooming out.
Yeah, this French music is pretty funny. Any tips for soft edges? I don't know. Like, outside of be self-conscious and be conscious of the edges, think about them all the time, make them kind of priority number one, and other than that, also try to work wet on wet and, you know, blend, you know, when you have one brush stroke here and one brush stroke here, make sure you always have kind of a very small overlap. Each new stroke that you apply should somehow overlap the previous ones ever so slightly, directionally, and with the right amount of pressure and all. It's hard to learn. It's you know, I'm not gonna say it's easy, but it will come. It will come. No worries. I'm sure you'll figure it out. Working in layers, sure, but it can be a double-edged sword, because working in layers can also be a way to make even sharper edges. Like, you let the first layer dry and then you work wet on dry, then it allows you to make even sharper edges if you want. So it's double-edged. I think that the best way for genuine soft edges is still wet on wet. Oh, for drawing, okay. Thank you, Jen Caddy. No, I as usual, I have several references, but no reference in particular, but I have several various references that I found, and like I'm using a face with this lighting, but I'm for the features like the nose and all, I'm modifying it. So in the end, I'm gonna make a kind of an original face out of various faces. So it was something weird that I do. I have a video explaining how I manage my models and all. Most of the time I'm actually my own model, but for this one, no. I picked up, like, usually I pick up like 4 or 5 different, photos, and I kind of make my own mix and match, my own kind of internal Photoshop. So it's never entirely imagination, because like the light, I can't figure the light on my own. Well, I can, have a basic idea of where the lights should be and all. But I generally like to have a model for where the light source should be, how the light should articulate the volume. But after that, like, if you want me to turn this face into a male face, I can. Like, this is something I'm used to do. Don't ask me why, I often do that. Because I work a lot from imagination, and very often this is what I do. It's like, I can turn this face into, a different kind of ethnicity, different age. This is how I normally work with both references and imagination, because my main work has to do with I have to use a lot of different characters in my work, and I've learned how to work this way. So strange, but it's how I do. Not necessarily something that I would recommend or anything, but hey. Actually, I think I made a video called the technique that I use almost always use, and I wouldn't recommend it. It's kind of this technique that I'm talking about. I think I'm 10 years in now. I think I started making art. I started painting 10 years ago. But if you count the time before, it could be 15, or could be around this, because not just art practice, but like if you combine all the hours that I've spent drawing, and as a kid even, maybe it will add up and be around 15. I don't know. I don't even know if I've reached the famous 10,000 hours. You know how they say that to be an expert at anything, you have to spend 10,000 hours, and you'll become a master at it. Okay. Okay, I was looking for that little. This is pretty cool. This is a little mechanical eraser, and this should provide me with, you know, a beautiful dark line. Does she look like Nicole Kidman? Well, it's not intentional. Sometimes it happens though. At the moment, I'm really into imperfect noses. I find them very interesting to paint. In my Danatus, I did a lot of these kind of noses with, you know, what could be called tiny imperfections, you know, and I find them very, very cool. They bring a lot of character. Really, how do you really account for the 10,000 hours? Like, how do you, like, I'm pretty sure that I think now I've spent the 10,000 hours, but I don't know. I think I should have reached it. I can't even be sure. It's like 10,000 hours of, you know, active time, or just, you know, just goofing around in your studio. Is it counted? Just like your work hours, like sometimes you're not always as productive. Does it count in the 10,000 hours then? Maybe. Would be interesting. I'm pretty sure maybe I can know how much video time I have on YouTube. This is something that I should be capable of. This is the type of information that I should find. I know how much time people watch, like, because YouTube always tells me about the watch time. They tell me that people have been watching my videos on my channel for this many hours, and yeah, it's quite a lot actually. Not even that, I'm not even that big of a channel, but it adds up. Yeah, this is the cool thing about this method. It almost feels finished, like very early on. That's pretty cool. What I don't like though is the texture. I don't like the kind of scratchy texture. I think it makes it gives this kind of a hyper realistic appearance where they, you know, they make hyper realistic photos with extra high definition and you see all the pores of the skin. I really don't like this aesthetic. I'd much rather have something soft and blended than something like that. So I might try to soften it a bit. I love the sketchiness as well, but I don't like seeing the texture of the pores and all. I'd much rather have something more, you know, vaporous. You know, I don't like when the paper creates this kind of orange peel texture. I like to tone it down a bit. See, I'm blending this here, creating a midtone, which is going to help me draw now with the eraser. Because if I have nothing, I can't do that. Like, I can't achieve this kind of little line. She needs moisturizer, exactly. I want to bring it to her. But this little eraser right here, it's very effective with this technique. Hello, ISO Bandit. Exactly, most based stream. You're right. Totally, this is where it's happening. Whoa, I don't know what Kai's painting would do in black and white. Would they still work? How, like, the entire concept is almost revolving around the coloring. Sounds interesting to see the values though. Might be cool to make the just a value study. Might be actually a good way to understand how he...
Thank you Gina Bato for the super chat. Your support is greatly
Gina,
appreciated.
thank you for
Can
the
we
10.
get some GGs in the chat?
Thank you for the super chat, Gina. Big heart, big love, Gina. Thank you so much. Oh yes, slab is actually a cool surface as well. The thing is, you can also do white paint, by the way. It's also very interesting. Thank you, Gina. It's also very interesting white paint. This is one thing that I've never done though. You know, take a black surface and use white paint and brushes and all. Sounds promising. I never tried. But this should be the exact same thing. How often? Twice a week, normally every Tuesday and Fridays. And sometimes a little extra. Yeah, I love how it's like she's emerging from the shadows. It's just the technique itself. Like, I can assure you, just grab a white pencil, a good one like this one, the Conte white Conte pencil. Grab black drawing paper, and I can assure you, it works like that. And even if you can mess it up and all, like, you still get the nice kind of emerging effect. Right here, I'm doing, you know, I'm working and I have my portrait skills and all, but like any type of drawing feels the same. It really feels like it's emerging. It's almost like cheating, really. How it's unfair. It's unfair. It has this little kind of spectacular appeal. I assume if you know, like, you know, these guys sometimes they, in very touristic places, you have street artists who make, you know, street art performance almost. You can almost do something like that. Like, you have a big black slab and you just paint with white and you kind of somehow make a face appear and everybody's just amazed. You know, that could be a good art performance idea. I never saw an art performance in real life, but I know that there was this guy who was making it in something like, you know, some sort of a town show on TV. Now I saw something like that. He was so basically it was a TV show, and he was painting the face of one of the celebrities there with a technique that was like that, with house brushes and like brooms and stuff like that, making it gigantic. And he was using this technique actually, and very fast. Like, he was achieving a portrait. And with this technique, it's, yeah, it really works this fast, this well. Have you seen the guy who breaks glass over a black background? Makes portraits using the cracked glass. I haven't seen, but can post it in the Discord. Which country? I live in France. Let's have a little round because we have lots of new people here. Where are you all from? Let's have a little around the world. Let's have a little trip around the world with all of our all of our places together. Might make a nice little trip around the world. It's pretty cool when you think about it. If we could all visit each other, would make an insane trip around the world. Scotland, North Carolina, Orlando, Florida, USA. What's NH? North Carolina? What is upstate New York? France, Netherlands, Canada, Sunshine Coast. Oh, New Hampshire. New Hampshire. Okay. Netherlands, Michigan, Ontario, California, Singapore. Shout out to Singapore. Shout out to Korea. All right. Philippines. Well, yeah, I assumed it wasn't North Korea, but Into the Darkness. You took my advice in Cody's and did your first Caravaggio studies. How did it go? That's the question. The big question. Yeah, I didn't remember this advice as well, but it sounds like something that I could advise. Nice. So we're gonna be buddies then, because I'm just like that. I'm also a big Caravaggio fanboy. I would love to say that this feels like Caravaggio, but it doesn't. Like, to me, it doesn't evoke the same feeling. It makes me feel more like photography, like what I'm doing here. Don't know how to describe. Feels like black and white photography. Oh, yeah, you asked... Oh, yeah, I remember now. You asked about chiaroscuro. Okay. What do you think about funk music? I like. I actually went actually went to see Kool and the Gang in concert. This is one of the rare concerts that I've seen. It was great. Kool and the Gang, I know, is more disco funk, but hey, they're legends. And it was actually before Kool died, and that was pretty cool. Legendary band. It was cool, and the gang was doing great. Do you hate people that like K-pop? Well, you like what you want, my friend. I'm not a fan personally, but I don't care. I don't like. I'm never against. Yeah, in terms of you like what you like. I'm never against. You want to like whatever kind of art. Fine. It's just if you're saying to me, yes, I think that this type of art should be elevated to the highest possible, status, like because it's the best and it's the best form of art. This is where I will have a problem. I would disagree. But if you just say, hey, I like it, and yeah, whatever, just if you're saying K-pop is the best music ever created, I'll say I disagree with you and I don't think it is. But if you're just saying, hey, I just want to listen to it because I find it cool, I'll say, hey, whatever floats your boats, I like it as well. And this is the same problem that I have with modern art. Like, I don't mind, like, overall, I'm not really a big fan of modern art, but I don't mind like that people appreciate, and I can see how people can appreciate modern art in contemporary art and all. It's just that if you want to elevate modern art as the highest degree of the highest achievement of our civilization right now is just a pile of bricks, I would disagree. I would say no. It's just, if you want to like it, just go ahead and like it. But I'm not for relativism, because I think relativism is the complete opposite of art. You can't say anything can be art and anything is just as valuable as art. Like, I still think that it's important to, But if you want to like modern art, I'm not gonna hate on you or anything. It's the same. It's the like what you want. But if you want to make me believe that a trash can is the best example of what human creativity can do, I'm gonna strongly disagree, and I'm gonna call on your bullshit. That's all. But if you want to like this, go ahead, just like what you want. There's a difference between personal taste, that's actually, it's very subjective, and excellence and high levels of human achievements. And this is not subjective, in my opinion. That's a debate. I feel the same about abstract art. I know there's more to it. I would just hang it on my wall. Yeah, that's cool. Like, yeah, like I'm fine with modern art as well. I enjoy the experience. I don't want to be forced by the institutions to to say, oh, this is the best thing, this is such great, amazing art. No, like most modern art looks very good, you know, for decorating hotels and stuff like that. I agree. Like a lot of this stuff to me is just less significant. You're so underrated. You deserve 1 million sub. Yeah, let's start with one more. Have you subscribed? Diversity is everything for me. I agree. But I don't agree that out of diversity you can have equally good art. I don't think that every art is equally good just because every person is equally inclined to appreciate any type of art. You know, I don't know if you see the logic. I'm gonna try to reformulate. I don't think that all art on... I'm not a relativist, that's what I want to say. I'm not a relativist. I don't think that all art on earth is equally good just because every individual person is equally inclined to like anything. Like some masochists have a fetish of being, you know, kicked in the balls. I'm not gonna say, all right, because somebody likes this, it must be that it's good and it's a good experience. No, I know it's not good. Like, just because somebody likes something doesn't justify the universal label of it being good and deserving of praise, right? That's my logic. It still allows everybody to like what they like, but just because some people like it doesn't justify that we make it universally worthy of praise. That's what I'm... That's my logic. That's how I try to justify. Because I don't want to you know, force people to like certain types of art or ban people from enjoying certain types of art. But I don't think certain types of art should be just because the institutions want us to praise a certain type of art that they've decided is the new cool stuff doesn't make it relevant for me. If it doesn't convey emotions, if it doesn't tell a story, just because it's in the museum and some fancy people have decided that this is the cool stuff that deserves to be viewed by the public, like, doesn't make it relevant for me, because I know how to call the bullshit when I see it. I've been in this world, the world of art, for long enough to know that there is a lot of bullshit around. A lot of it has to do with networking, with being friends with the right person. So just because it's in some art is in some type of fancy institution or praised by someone famous doesn't make it relevant, because some of the times it's just that they know the right people. What I want is, I want first-hand experience. I don't want anyone to tell me about the work for me to appreciate it. I should be able to appreciate a work of art solely on the merits of what it looks like, without even knowing who painted it. Like, if you show me a Da Vinci and you don't don't put the label, I would probably appreciate the, you know, the softness, the sfumato, without the need to know that Da Vinci painted it. And if you tell me, oh no, but actually this is not Da Vinci, it's one of his students, I would say, all right, it's still a cool painting. Let me continue the experience. I don't mind. I don't care who painted it. I'm like that. I'm the kind of guy who goes to a museum and doesn't really look at the labels. Curators are just people with their own tastes and business objectives, pretty much. Nice accent. Is it Indian? No, it's French. I'm inclined to agree with you, Florent. I like Florent, it's very unique. Thank you! I'm very critical of art institutions. Yeah, well... Thank you. Couldn't agree with you more, Flo. An art piece should be able to speak for itself. I so totally agree. Each person will interpret a piece of art with their own perspective based upon their own experience. Exactly. And the job of the artist is to make this connection between the story that the artist wants to tell and the story that the viewers wants to hear, you know? And it's never the same. It's always a back and forth. Like there's the story as you want to say it, and the story as they want to experience it. And it's never like it's never the same. But this is exactly where art, where the fun experience about art lies. It's in this shared but very unique intersubjective experience between the artist and the audience, the viewers in this case. And what I hate about modern art institutions is that they are most of the time it's all like, oh, the public doesn't appreciate contemporary art, but it's because they don't know the message. So we're gonna try to educate them so that the general public can understand the art. So basically the public is too stupid to know that bullshit is bullshit and call it for what it is. So you have to just educate them, because poor little ones, they're just too stupid to know what's a good painting and what's not, to know what's an interesting story and what's not. And this is such an elitist prick vision of art. It's very typical. I had so many I've heard so many, you know, art critiques and all, very pedantically, very self-sufficiently saying how we should educate the public so that they can finally appreciate contemporary art. A trash bag in a white room, and apparently the reason why people are not appreciating it is not because it's a trash bag in a white room, it's because they're not educated enough. How delusional do you have to be to think like that? And it's absolutely insulting to think that, well, it's just, people are just too stupid to get it, right? We're not too stupid, it's just there's nothing to get. The problem here in the US that art is idealized, pedestalized, yet if someone wants to be an artist for their chosen career, they're told, oh, but you can't make any money from that. Yeah, it's the elitism. Like, if a very small percentage of all the art that's created is chosen as the art that's going to be in, like for a while they had this big and they need to have like fads, they need to have like, you know, trends. For a moment it was street art. Street art was the new, you know, the new gold rush. And then for and then for a couple months they had the NFTs. Apparently NFTs were where everything was supposed to happen now. And before that there was like performance art and conceptual art, and they try to always find new trends because it has to be modern, it has to, it's, come on, painting is painting. You can still paint today something from the modern world with the same techniques and tools that the old masters used to have. And that's the beauty of it. Painting hasn't changed, the world has changed. The brush, the paint, they have not changed. The apple has changed because the artists of today don't see the apple the same way. So you might think, hey, it's still the boring apple. You're still making paintings of, you know, yes, but maybe maybe the apple has changed. Well, how about it? Maybe in today's world, you can bring a new fresh vision, a new fresh perspective on something as common as just a simple apple still life. You don't have to be unique and original to make great art. Reminds you so much of a Da Vinci drawing. Thank you. I love the world the old masters painted, and I'm still learning from them. My current art projects are work with mixed media paper art and exploring the very basic mark making using repurposed item as my palette and paper as my canvas. Art can be visionary and foreshadow events, which I find most interesting, sort of divinations. What do you mean? What do you mean? I don't get exactly what you mean by that. I think what the masters missed was putting in the consciousness aspect to it, the understanding of the human condition. How do you paint that? Well, are you kidding, Vesper? It's like the works of the old masters are full of examples. Some are more successful than others, but a lot of the art of the masters is actually not what it looks like. Like, you think, oh, it's just a crucifixion painting, another one. No, it's actually not. It's more than that. It's a statement on human fate. Or you might think, oh, it's just an old painting of a young lady. No, it's actually more a reflection on, I don't know, fragility, or I don't know, something. It's very subtle. You have to see through the lines. Most of the art that matters is not just what it means, but you do have like tons of paintings that are very boring and miss the point, but some of them, they have this undescribable quality, you know, this extra this extra bit of, you know, life that, you know, most people can't describe why they love a certain painting so much. And when you really think about it, it's because the painting or the work has something that relates to, you know, human existence, consciousness. Alright, do you mean that art... Okay, do you mean that art reflects the moment in history? Alright. Yeah, the paintings that stand the test of time, that's nicely said. Some of them have something, you know, more than just what they supposedly say. Sometimes it's not just an apple in a vase. Sometimes it's more than that. It's a glimpse of human existence. I visited Cordoba, Spain recently and saw a rendition of the Pieta that just blew me away. I've seen so many biblical paintings, but its technique and emotional evocation had me staring with my mouth open. Exactly, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Some paintings just hit right on the nail and they just have something extra that's more than the subject. It's more than the story. It's more than the subject, it transcends the subject. And that's awesome. And if you, like, as an artist, when you are on the other side trying to make this work as beautiful as you can, and when you try to achieve that, it's hard because you never know when, and it's not something you can control. You can't say, all right, this one will be my masterpiece. Sometimes you have kind of an intuition that a painting will be successful, but you can't simply say, all right, this one will be my masterpiece and will pass the test of time. It's not like you can just, if it was this easy, everybody would be doing it. You have to make your best every time and hope for the best. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. You have to always be very genuine and honest in your work. You have to dedicate and put your heart into what you do. Dedicate your heart and soul relentlessly. Someday you make a masterpiece, and the next day you make another work, and it's not as good. And you never know how it works. It's just like that. One of those paintings where your empathy for Mary's sorrow was like a gut punch. Yeah, I love these paintings when they have such a strong impact. This is why I love Caravaggio so much, because I find his paintings so powerful every time, and it's hard to stay, you know, in indifference. Each new drawing or painting is my masterpiece because I'm always improving. Nice. It's good. Like, I'm not gonna crush your mindset, but you'll see that some works are just above the rest, you know, and you never know really. You never know why or how, but what do you guys think of online competitions? You mean online subscriptions to actual art competitions, or it's all happening online, even the jury and everything, and there's no exhibition? Because like most, you know, most of the art contests, art fairs, art salons, they normally ask for online registration, and typically you'll have registration fees that can be slightly expensive. It depends on the, you know, what you'll gain from being there. I would say if the competition or if the event is famous enough and just has enough visibility so that you would still benefit from not winning at all and being placed just in the honorable mentions or something like that, then go for it. If it's just obscure and will bring you nothing, just avoid it like a plague, because it's just a quick money grab. And beware of scams. Sometimes they reach out to you saying that you've been pre-selected for, I don't know, this gallery show in New York or something, and in the end it's just a vanity gallery. You'll have to send your paintings at your own expenses, and then maybe they'll not even have a show. You never know. Like some of these can be scams or borderline scams, because like a scam is something very specific, and some of them are technically, you know, they're still showing your work. It's still a vanity gallery, but they're making no effort to sell it. Like a gallery should pay for your work to come. Like you should not, it shouldn't be your own, like they should make money out of your art, which is why they take this outrageous commissions most of the time. It's like, normally they make money out of selling your art, right? But if they're starting to ask you to just if they're asking you to send money, that's when it starts becoming sus. Are you adding suggestions of hairs? I don't know. The Da Vinci Institute? I don't know. What is it? No, I'm not sure what you're talking about, Christopher. These little silicone shapers are very useful. What if it's for prints of your work? Sounds... Nah, it doesn't sound as good. Beware, beware. Make tons of research on whatever institution it is before you commit. Because I've also received tons of stuff. I could have been in Laguna Beach Gallery in California. Wow, amazing. I could have been in New York in this amazing gallery that really wanted me on Instagram apparently and didn't know anything about my work. And I could have sold this painting in Nigeria because apparently this woman wanted to buy a painting for her husband. Sounds legit, right? Well, it's pretty much the same. Like the thing about the wanting to buy for your husband or anything, I actually had it. Like on Instagram at some point, there was a lot of scams like that. Was very common. I think now they filter the messages better, so you're less exposed, but I would still say it exists online. I'm not on Instagram very often, but I'm pretty sure they're still trying. Do I have a favorite art piece? No. I have favorites, but it's hard to say. It's hard to ask me to choose. It's like choosing between my babies. Yeah, let's do that, Cody. Start. It's always time to start. Awesome, Starfire. It's cool. Sometimes we hang out. On Thursday, we're gonna have a get-together session. Just check out the events. Like, we try to have one every week. Every once in a while I hang out. Yesterday I was in the voice chat. So, yeah. It's a nice community. It's not too crowded for the moment. You can still get to know the people who are around, which is pretty cool. You start to know about the style, the preferences of the different people in the Discord. You know, oh, this person makes this kind of art, oh, this is the style of this or that user. It's like you start to know about the little quirks, the style, the preferences of everyone around, which is pretty cool. Like having a little art group. Well, nobody's stopping you from dressing as fancy. It's incredible thinking about the Obama painting again. How can you go from the talent of Sargent to awkward leaves? Yeah, it was kind of a status statement, weren't they? The clothes they said. Was kind of a big deal. Still is today though, like with all the fashion brands and all. Alright, cool, Starfire. I'll check it out. Yeah, well, Roaring Spark, I see the same, it's the same in France. I would say 10. Around 10, 10, 15. But the great thing is if the paintings have unity and go together, just don't send them anything. Try to send something, some works that really go well together. That's super important. Try to think as an artist. Try to imagine that, all right, if they had to if they have to hang all these paintings together, can they make a decent show out of it? And would this be worth it for them? Because they're kind of wasting their space and time, and they're kind of investing on the fact that your paintings are worth enough for you to occupy their space for, you know, something like a month. So you really want to help them get into the visualization of what it would imply to have you as one of their artists in their roster. You want to, you know, really be in the sort of the show mindset. You want to think, okay, this could go together, so this is what I'm presenting. And if you have like several things, like several styles, try to make it like very coherent and easy to understand. Choose one style preferably, but sometimes it's hard if you have like several, you know, several techniques. Try to categorize your work so that it's easy to understand and so that you can explain. When they ask you what you do, explain your art, explain your approach, you need to have a good response to that. Oh, that's nice. No, I must email them. My trick for galleries is to not send not go there blindly. Just typically what you want is to visit the gallery first, meet other artists they have, see if it's the right fit. If possible, talk with the owner, and just be part of the crowd, right? And then what you want is to, how to say, when you write an email, they should sort of remember you. Oh, this is the artist that was there before at this other artist presentation. No, that's nice. So what does he want? And try to get in touch with other artists. Try to network first before you send you send your portfolio. And don't send your portfolio immediately, if you're going to get flagged and you're going to get spam filtered. Like most of the emails that you send with PDFs or with links are going to get spam filtered, whether you want it or not. And it's not because of the gallery. The gallery has nothing to do with that. It's not that they don't want to see your work. It's just Google, Gmail, or most of the mail platforms. They don't like PDFs that you send to a person that you've never written to before. So just go for email. If you know the gallery, if you've kind of made your research, go for email. And before you do that, make sure you send a first email asking them if they are interested in working with, if they are looking for new artists to get into their galleries, and And who should you talk to if it's positive? Like, and that's what you want, is you want them to basically Google your name and find the awesome work that you make, instead of just pushing your PDFs in their inbox. That doesn't work. Just say, my name is this, and if they just Google or put your name in on Instagram, they should have everything they need to make an opinion on your work. Thank you, Easy. Exactly, building a relationship and then sending an email with no links and no PDF. But you can tell them, if you want to see my work, I can send you a link or I can send you a PDF. But the very first email that you send to anyone actually should never have an email, should never have a link, and should never have a PDF. Unless they ask for it. And if they're interested, they're gonna Google your name just out of curiosity, and they should find your work like that. And also what you want is, you don't want to ask them, do you want to take me? Is what you want is to ask them, are you open to the idea of working with new artists? And they might say yes. And this is getting a first positive response is already a win. It doesn't mean that they want to take you, but you're kind of pushing them in a direction where they give you positive responses. And on a psychological, like subliminally, you're trying to push them in the yes direction. Whereas when you ask someone like first email, never heard about you before, and you already ask them to, trust their money with you, it's an obvious no. It's an obvious no, right? Like you come up in my life and ask me to invest some of my money in you and trust your talent. And I don't know you, I've never heard of you. Obviously I'm gonna give you a big no, like it's going to be almost like a reflex. I'm gonna say no, like I don't want to work with you, I don't know you, just leave me alone. But if you just first get in touch, discuss, and makes it much easier to have positive response. And it might not be positive though, like there's a big chance that it might be negative, but just that's life, right? No, not in the first email. No CV in the first email. First email is starting the conversation. You never start the conversation with what you want to end with. Your CV should be on your website, ready, because they're going to Google you if they are slightly interested. just say you're an artist. That's all. Just say you're an artist. Say that you like, or even better, like say that you enjoy what they do, the artist that they show, especially this certain artist that you admire. Like saying that you, and really get interested in the work of the other artists that they show at the gallery is also a huge thing. You have to know about them. Because if you're going to be a part of this crowd, you want to, you know. And don't go to a gallery where you have nothing in common with the others. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty good advice. Approach it like a first date. Like it, like the idea. Thank you, Rowing Spark. What galleries usually like to do is try you first with other artists, and then if it works well, maybe do solo later on, depending really. Like, it's a business, so like each owner has its own way of, you know, handling the business. Like they have like different approaches. Thank you, Cody. Yeah, it's a pretty cool technique. So. Let's go, Vesper. Yeah, well, we all do. We all need the critic every now and then. That's the spirit. You need to reach for critique, constructive critique when it matters, and then learn also how to ignore it every once in a while. Because at some point you need to be free to follow your instincts and check back later with the critique. So try to... some of them do that, but you know, it's not the same kind of not the same type of economy now. Back in the days, it was the business model was working like that. It was the entire economy, because the masters needed the apprentices to assist them, and the apprentices needed the master to learn. So it was a kind of a win-win. Nowadays, it's not really the same type of economy, so it doesn't make as much sense. Oops, dropping something. Okay, it's just a brush. Sure, when I have a show, but I'm not gonna have a show for another for a long time, I think. Might have some works in July, but I wouldn't recommend going there. And after that, I don't know, I might have some other shows around, but for the moment I'm mostly staying in France, so unless you're in France, you'll have a hard time finding my work. Okay, but yeah, but my work is not on display at the moment. Oh yeah, you're not gonna regret it. Florence is an amazing city. I sell online, yeah. I do commissions. Yeah, my studio is normally private. You should start a museum. Like I often say, I'm like 90% self-taught. And never 100% self-taught, but hey. Saludos desde France. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo se va? Well, I think you can rewind. But maybe not, depending. But technically, YouTube should allow you to rewind. Not until it's over, okay. Interesting, because I I really thought you could though. Maybe not in vertical. This format sucks. Oh, okay, you try. You can. Okay, nice. Yeah, because for the longest time I was thinking that this is really one of the greatest benefits of YouTube streaming. Alright, my friends, I think I'm good. Time for a screenshot, and I'll be on my way. Was a nice, productive session. Alright, perfect. And thank you.
Screenshot taken in the Discord.
Thank you, Steven. Alright, so that's it. I'll just have to say thank you very much for being here. Oh, it's nice from the distance. It's almost like there's a ghost in my studio. So, ooh. It's kind of creepy in a way. It's like, feels like a hologram from this side. Feels ghostly from here. Yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you for the next one, my friends. As always, joy and inspiration.